Hello everybody and welcome back to the Giants FS25 US map, Riverbend Springs, and episode number 5, I think. So in the last one we did start this silage, and we had a little bit of fun trying to use the bunker silos, and it didn't work out too great, so then we had a kind of a reset and just collectively forgot everything we did. And just decided that we actually always had tower silos, and we started filling those. So in the last episode, I did use Courseplay to work this field, and I did use it in a way that I generated a course that was basically going up and down this edge, but it was following the contour of the field, like these undulations, I don't know, curves. And I thought it was a pretty interesting course, so it's not too boring, and also it was the longest roads to drive. But somewhere yesterday, when doing that video, I restarted my game a couple of times, I think 2 times, not sure. Anyways, somewhere that course got lost, and it generated a new one, which is this one, which we already have been using. I have been wondering why we did this row right here, because well, there's 3 outside rows, and then it should have gone upside down, but it didn't in the end of the last video, and I already wondered why. So now I took a look at the course, and as you can see, the lines go this way now and not this way. So yeah, at some point it reset the course. I don't know what I did wrong. I assume it's something I did wrong. I'm not sure what the correct procedure would be to save a course and load a course when exiting out of the game. So I just didn't, and yeah, the course was there when I got back into the game. I wasn't sure if it was, but it was there. So I just started on it, but I assume it generated a new course because I didn't save it. So anyways, yeah, we are continuing this way now, because I can't really do the other course, because it wouldn't match up, and it would contrary to the Giants helper that doesn't work ground that has already been worked, or field that already been worked. Cosplay doesn't know where it already had been, so it doesn't. If I generate a new course and it goes out to this edge, for example, it always tries to drive out to this edge, and it doesn't stop here where the actual crop stops. So yeah, I can't really change the course now, so we're just going to do the boring up and down sections. Anyway, so I already set this machine up. I don't know why it doesn't make any noise. I think they actually stopped the engine if there's no nobody, if it needs to be unloaded and there's nobody nearby, or nobody coming for a while. They actually stopped the engine, I think. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, so back to this here, and driving a little truck. Yeah, I know what I did wrong. Wait a second. I just did some testing on a different save, and I disabled the gearbox because I was using my keyboard. So yeah, now we're properly back. Yeah, so I do have a bit of an issue. I do have a bit of a problem right now, and it's a weird problem. I do have too much content. I don't know how this happened, but it's been an ongoing problem in FS25. So going back to basically like all, and I have another issue. For some reason, all the gears are the same. So yeah, that's a bug in FS25. Already been a bug in FS22, I think, but it's way more pronounced in FS25. So I don't know if exiting out of the vehicle helps. Let's just use the highest gear. Nope, did not change anything. Still only 14 kph. So usually hiring a helper works, so I don't know if I can actually hire a helper. I cannot. So I need to do the set destination bit and just have it drive a moment, undo the hired helper again, and yep, now it works. So usually that happens actually if you have a hired helper going, and you basically sometimes when the hired helper stops, it just gets stuck in one gear, and no matter what gear you put in, it always is in the same gear. But yeah, I didn't hire a helper with this thing, so I don't know what happened there. But I assume because I changed from automatic shifting to manual shifting while in the truck, I assume that messed it up somehow. So yeah, it's all a bit buggy. That's just what happens. Long story short, I was talking about content, and if you ask yourself why I didn't use this bridge, I don't really trust it. I don't think I should drive with a truck over that little bridge here, especially not a loaded one. Now that it's empty, yeah, you can give it a try, but usually I don't want to do that. Yeah, for the most part of my time as a YouTuber, basically I did record just in time, so to speak. So I had third gear is probably fine, yeah. So basically I usually recorded a day in advance, like right in the beginning. I did videos every 2 or 3 days. So basically I published a video and kind of recorded a video over 1 or 2 days. Usually I recorded them in one sitting. That's something I don't do anymore, but back then I usually did that. So basically I recorded a video, and then I waited until that is published, and then I recorded the next one. And usually, for the most part, that's kind of what I did all the time. And then over time I kind of drifted to one video every 3 or 4 days. I never had a real upload schedule or anything, because I always wanted to have like just make a video when I feel like it. And like every 3 or 4 days doesn't really translate to a schedule. If I would have done a schedule there, I would have had to do every 5 days or something like that, and that's not really like not a good schedule. So you'd have to do every 7 days or once a week, or you'd have to do every 3.5 days, twice a week. So yeah, I really didn't want to do that, but I didn't want to talk about scheduling here. I want to talk about how I generally approached the video creation. Usually like doing a video and then publishing it and then doing the next video, and usually it ended up being in a way that the next video would have had to be ready, and yeah, kind of last minute. Like I knew I had published a video like 2 days ago, and maybe I should publish one tomorrow, so now today I have to record. And so yeah, that's kind of how it usually went. I never really pre-recorded anything, like maybe a couple of not even a handful of times over the years that I actually pre-recorded stuff. But yeah, over the last few months things have really changed. I did a bit of a YouTube pause. I didn't really do any YouTube at all for a while, and then very little. And I came back with a new perspective on things and a new plan, and not really taking it too serious anymore, not really looking at the numbers or statistics or anything like that. Not caring about that anymore. I did it for a while, and that wasn't really healthy. So yeah, right now that's also when I kind of started number one, transitioning to a bit more long form content. I always did long videos. Initially when I started, I wanted to do 20 to 30 minutes. I always wanted to do more than 15. Back in the day when I started, a lot of Let's Players did like 15 to 18 minute episodes, and I never really wanted to do that short, because I felt like doing a video that short, you can't really put much information in. Basically, you just started out and it's already ending. So I usually was going for 20 to 30 minutes, which basically ended up being always about 30-minute videos. I very rarely was much under 30 minutes. Yeah, that evolved to usually like being 32 minutes, 35 minutes, 36 minutes, like a little bit over 30 minutes, and I kept that going for quite a while. So I had some episodes every once in a while, like 40 minutes or 50 minutes, not really any longer. But yeah, for the most part, I had about 30-minute episodes. But recently, I did transition to a bit more long-form content, long-form episodes. I think with my play style and my editing style and everything, and the fact that I talk so much. It just fits a lot better. I think sometimes when editing the video, I look at, well, now 30 minutes are over, should I make a cut? I mean, I could do that, like just cut in the middle, not really have an intro and an outro, just a cut, and the next episode continues on the next day or something like that. So if I did that, I could publish a lot more episodes. I could, with the amount of content I have right now, I could almost publish an episode a day if I went to 20-30 minutes again. But I don't really see the point in that. I mean, you don't have to watch a long episode at once. You can watch it on 2 or 3 times. YouTube saves the watch time, or where you are, so in the video. So if you come back, you can start watching again at that point. And I think it just the thing is, I mean, I didn't even get the whole silage done in one video now, and if I did that in 30-minute episodes, I would probably do silage for like 2 weeks. Yeah, that's not really fun. So yeah, in terms of just the feeling of progress in the game, which is, I think, maybe it's not as important as I think it is. For me personally, it is important. I feel like if I watch other Let's Players, I kind of want to see some progress in the game. I don't want to see them harvest the same field for like 5 episodes, and maybe every other day there's an episode, so you're basically 2 weeks of harvesting the same field or stuff like that. I don't really want to see that, because it's kind of a sport, so I kind of want to see some progress. That's also why I do the time lapses, because I can fit more content into one episode. If I did no time lapses at all, I could do that. I could perfectly well do that. I actually, in the beginning, I started doing the time lapses because I couldn't talk for that long at a time. So I said a few sentences, and then I transitioned in a short time lapse, and I said a few sentences again. My earlier videos did have a lot of short time lapses. Like right now, I would transition in a time lapse, drive home, and the time lapse would end, and I would start talking again when unloading, and like that kind of pace for the video. And yeah, it changed over time, because I just learned to talk and talk and talk. That's something that's actually really great. Through YouTube, I never was a really you wouldn't think that, but I actually didn't really talk much before doing YouTube. Like I was really a person of very few words. And if you met me on the street, or if you met me anywhere and you started talking to me, you'd probably get like one word answers, like yes, no, maybe, stuff like that. So not really in a talkative mood anytime, really. So yeah, it's kind of, YouTube taught me to talk, because I slowly leaned into it and started talking more and more. And nowadays I could perfectly find fill a 30-minute episode every like recording session, usually. I mean, I do have bad days, obviously. There's better days for recording, there's worse days for recording. Sometimes I find a topic or something and I just speak and speak. And sometimes I'm not really sure what to talk about, and just not really getting into it. And yeah, that obviously then time lapses are a really welcome thing. But yeah, as you can see, I've already been talking for quite a while. And yeah, I could do that. And actually a lot of my viewers did say that they wouldn't really mind if I stopped doing time lapses. That's actually a lot of people that tell me they skip them. They don't really want to watch them. It's boring, it's music. They want to hear me talk, and they skip them. And it's perfectly fine if they do. But yeah, so I could do videos without any time lapses, and that would be fine. But I think just in terms of like getting ahead in the game, the alternative would be to do off-camera work, basically. Because yeah, I don't really want to do like 10 episodes doing the same thing. That's just not really a thing. And that's also kind of why I started doing the more long-form content, because I just realized I couldn't really fit it into smaller episodes anymore. Actually, back when I started my very first story series on FS17, I had like really tiny fields. So basically I could do the entire silage harvest, grass silage, I could do in like 1, maybe 2 episodes. And that's 30-minute episodes, because it just and of course, yeah, a lot of time lapse in between, but still a lot of talking also, just because the fields were so small, and I really didn't have too much to do. So that was a very different kind of safe game in terms of pacing and stuff. But over time that changed a little. I did always fall into the trap of just having a bigger fields or more fields, and it's also a map thing that it was a perfect map. I mean, I did play on Lostberg. For the few of you that did actually aren't watching my channel since forever, or the few of you that actually aren't my German viewers that know that stuff, I have been playing on Lostberg, and that was kind of the perfect map for me because it had really small fields, and it also had a few bigger ones, but I chose the smallest fields basically, and a small farm, and it just it was perfect for the Let's Play. Yeah, actually it just never really been the same. So in FS22 I did the wait a minute. Now we need to go back. Lostberg was FS17. FS19 was a Wholesome map, and Wholesome map is my all-time favorite map. And especially now the new FS22 version, completely rebuilt, completely new, completely realistic terrain, like the heights are really correct, and many buildings on the map are actually built after the real ones, and it's just such an incredible map, and the views over the lake, and it's awesome. But the thing is, I did I don't know how many episodes, 200 or something, on that, and in FS19. Continued on for quite a long time, even after FS22 was out. I was still doing a pause for about half a year, and then I was doing episodes again on FS19, just to continue the story, and I had a lot of fun on that. But in the end, it just I mean, it was an old game, but more than that, it was really old mods, just stuff that wasn't really up to the times anymore with the details, and it kinda, in the beginning of the save game, you kind of look past it a bit. You didn't really have much choice in terms of vehicles, especially doing a smaller farm, and kind of look past that stuff because it's new and it's exciting, and you build a story around it. But after 200 episodes, and yeah, it got a bit tiring to look at some of those vehicles and play with them. So yeah, that was one reason why eventually I just stopped. I didn't really make an outro or anything of it. It just ended naturally. I didn't even plan on it. I kind of wanted to continue the story first, and then I did Pulau map, which was a little bit of a spin-off with the same character, and yeah, and eventually I just didn't record any longer, and the pause between videos became longer, and eventually it just no more videos. So the story never ended. It's still going technically. I mean, in the mind of me and maybe my viewers, there is no end to the story. It's still the same. The farm is still going. They are still doing just the same as they did before. So yeah, I think it's pretty nice to end the story this way. I mean, I could have made a nice ending to it, and I thought about that, but again, as I didn't really plan it, but just kind of lost interest in recording, and over time I realized, well, it has been 1 month, and then it has been 2 months, and after several months have passed, I can't really make an ending, or I could have, but I didn't want to. Anyways, very long story short, what I actually wanted to say is Wholesome map has way bigger fields. I mean, Wholesome map has grassland. It's basically a entirely only grass map. It doesn't have any fields in real life in the area. I did have a few fields on it because just doing grass is a bit boring. Despite I am actually loving grass a lot more than field work, but just doing grass, basically you finish with making hay and you make silage again, and it's just always the same, so that's a bit boring. So I did have a few fields, but what I wanted to say is, and it was a very long-winded way of getting here is, the fields were just a little bit bigger, not a little bit, but a lot bigger actually, on Wholesome map, and so that was kind of where this all fell apart a bit, where I actually really did record hay making for 4 or 5 episodes sometimes, and oh great, now I didn't recognize the trailer again. and I wasn't too happy with that, and so it eventually morphed into longer episodes. Not actually on a whole map. I still think I was like usually doing like 38 to 40 minute at most episodes there. But when I restarted on the story, basically I didn't do story or recording or anything in FS22. I had a really long pause where I didn't really have any actual save game. And then I also had a long pause where I didn't do any farm sim at all or any YouTube videos at all. But when I got back into it, I did do it on Rehbach. And what I did there was basically from the beginning, I think the first episode is like a pilot episode, and that's like 2 episodes. Basically 1 episode but cut in 2, and each of them is like 50 minutes long, I think. And that's kind of set the set the way for long form content, and it worked really well. I could fit a lot into the episode. I could also talk a lot and still fit a lot in, and it kind of evolved from there, like going for 40 to 50 minute episodes, like actually planning to do that and not just by accident. And then of course when I planned to do like 40-minute episodes, it ended up being 50 to 60 minutes, and by now I'm actually close to usually almost an hour, sometimes over an hour. I think my longest video was like 1:27 or something like that, just a regular video, and I do really enjoy that, and yeah, I think it fits my playstyle and it fits my recording style. But what I really wanted to say, like 20 minutes ago, not quite 20 minutes, 10 minutes ago, maybe 15 minutes, I don't know, when I really started with this, I do have too much content now, and I never ever had that happen because I never really pre-recorded and never really did anything like that. Yeah, in recent times, especially with FS25, it kind of actually started with FS25. Since I did have early access to FS25, I did record FS25 videos, but I didn't publish them. I only did live stream on the early access. I didn't publish any videos on the early access, yeah, but I did record some stuff to publish after the game was released, and that is kind of like how this all started. Like I did do some pre-recording. I just had fun playing. That was the thing. I really enjoyed FS25, and I still do. And I can't quite point my finger to why. But I think, like I already talked about, that helper and cosplay and stuff like that. It is most definitely a thing for me. The Giants helper, that it just drives to a field, and it's good enough. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for a realism player to actually use it. And that actually does give me a lot of freedom to only do the task I really want to do, and just let the other thing the helper do, or just do a little bit of a task, and the rest can be done via the helper. So yeah, I think that's most definitely one thing that keeps me motivated of playing. But also I don't know why, I just like the game. I mean, it's just I can't really point a finger at it in particular, but it just I just enjoy playing FS25. So yeah, that's kind of where it started. Basically, I had like the first episode here on the US map. I had recorded, I think, before the game got out, or maybe just after. But I did set up the save game before, and I don't know. I think I did record like a save game setup video and farm building video, but then I changed the farm and I changed everything, and so I don't think any. I'm not sure if any of the pre-recorded stuff got published in regards of this save game. But what I do know is that I recorded Sri Lanka, like I think 2 or 3 episodes for the release, and yeah, I played a lot and tested a lot and did a lot modding, trying out in the few days before the actual release. And yeah, so it kind of happened that the game got released and I started to release the video, but I also wanted to play because I really wanted to play FS25, so I did. And usually when I play or record, I don't really play for myself. That's just not really a thing for me. It never was. Actually, I never really played farm sim. I usually just modded. So the whole playing thing actually came about with doing videos, and obviously multiplayer. I did play multiplayer, like together with other people, but not really alone. I never really had a proper save game going. I usually played like maybe an hour or two, and then the save was abandoned again. So that is something that I'm full. That is something I only got into when recording, so that's never changed to this day. I only actually play when I record. Everything else is like testing or modding. Setting up saves to play them on camera, or setting up things to do in the next video or something like that. So that is what I usually do. Otherwise, if I play, I do record. So yeah, that kind of happened. So I wanted to play on Sri Lanka some more, and that ended up basically like 2 more videos or 3 more videos within the first 1 or 2 days. And yeah, so I had a lot of content, and I think for the first 2 weeks I released a video every day, I think, for FS25 almost every day. And still had too much content because I did pre-record, and it never stopped. It never really stopped to this day. I mean, it's been, I don't know, over 2 months now since FS25 got released, and I did have like a week where I didn't really feel like playing FS, like got a bit burned out, and but I still had stuff pre-recorded. So yeah, few videos these days. I don't do a video every day anymore, like maybe 2 videos a week, but I still do pre-record stuff. And actually I do have 2 Sri Lanka videos already recorded and uploaded. I just need to publish, but I didn't want to do too many, especially because they are so long. That's one of the big reasons why I try to space them out a little. So actually I need to downshift quite a bit here to use the engine brake. I just had an idea, but I won't talk about it. Modding idea for my Realism and Gearbox script. We'll see about that. Anyways, what I wanted to say is, the thing is, I still have those videos because they are so long, like over an hour, and I can't publish an hour-long videos back to back, like day after day. Nobody has time to watch that, and I don't really want to publish videos nobody can watch. So, yeah. I mean, yes, I did that on the first week or so. FS25 hype, a lot of people wanted to watch, but nowadays I don't anymore. So I kind of spaced them out, like 1 or maybe 2 Sri Lanka videos a week. Last week I think was 1 Sri Lanka video, just because I didn't get around to publishing the second one. I didn't really, for a couple of days, didn't release it at the computer at all. So yeah, long story short, I do want to play some more Sri Lanka, maybe not too later today or tomorrow, and so I'm basically going to have a 3rd video pre-recorded. I already have the 4th episode, which is the first part of the silage saga, recorded, cut and uploaded, but today I have published the 3rd one, and I think I'm going to stick to 1 English video per week. So basically I have next week's video finished, and I'm currently recording a video for the week after. So, yeah, that's a bit of a thing I never really experienced before, like really actually having content in advance. And it's a weird feeling, but it's also nice to kind of have a buffer there and kind of have the ability to space out videos. Like back in the day, basically, I really always was in stress when recording. Always knew I need to finish it, I need to finish it now, I need to finish it today. So yeah, usually I just kind of knew I need to get the content in, and obviously doing time lapses and stuff, it takes time. Like usual recording time back in the day for one 30-minute video was about 1.5 to 2 hours actual gameplay. And yeah, obviously you tend to maybe do a shortcut if you know have to finish the video by tomorrow. Maybe you don't do the field, like one entire field cultivating at the end of the video as a time lapse. Maybe you just start cultivating it and talk for 10 minutes and the episode is done. And stuff like that happened more and more, and I was kind of unhappy with that. So yeah, I'm really happy that many of those things are very different now, and that's just I think I'm in a good spot recording wise and gameplay wise. Obviously that's not going to last. I'm not a fool. I know that I can't keep this up. At some point I'm going to have like no fun with Farm Sim for like 2 to 4 weeks, and I'm going to publish all my old videos, and there will be no more videos, and I need to record and I don't want to, and then there will be a week with no videos or stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to happen probably. But yeah. Anyways, what I really wanted to just say is, it's really weird feeling to have like content overflow and to like record something that's maybe published in 2 weeks. I know many YouTubers do that, like recording videos way in advance, like maybe entire. I know some Let's Play YouTubers do record entire series, like usually many do like series of like 30 to 40 episodes on the same map, on the same save, and then they switch to the next one. So actually a lot of YouTubers don't even have like really long save games going, because starting a new save always gets new viewers to the channel, and usually you can't just drop down after a while because people just get bored with the save. So yeah, usually YouTuber saves are short-lived. But yeah, there's YouTubers out there that basically record everything in one go, like 1 or 2 days, episode 1 to 30, and then those episodes will be released over the next, I don't know, 8 weeks or even longer. So yeah, and then they record another series and like only doing it in batches. And obviously there's a huge disconnect between record and actual publish, and that's something I already feel like. If I record a video now and I publish it next week, I might not be 100% sure what exactly happened in this video, because I didn't only record this video, or that I also recorded 2 others or 3 others, and I'm not really sure what happened. Like was it in this video, was it in another video? So sometimes I get comments and I'm thinking about, is that now in relation to this thing happening, or to that thing happening? So yeah, I'm not really sure how to deal with that, and it's going to be really bad for the English videos now, if I do actually record like 2 or 3 weeks in advance. That basically none of the comments can have any influence into like the next 1 or 2 videos, and I think that's a really bad thing. I think I always want to have the comments be a part of the series and be an influence. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I hope it doesn't stop you from commenting that if you know that the videos may be recorded in advance a bit. But just to explain why sometimes it takes a while until I actually like can do something that has been suggested in the comments, for example. Yeah, and again, it's all pretty new to me. I never really did it that way in the past, but nowadays I do it that way, and yeah, it works out well for me, I think, and I hope for you as well. That's again the most important part. I mean, what does it matter if it works well for me if nobody wants to watch? So, well, I think I actually talk so much that my voice is going away a little bit. So yeah, that is one issue. That is one issue. I usually like talking for long periods of time at once. Usually my voice goes at some point. Like if I do a live stream for like 2-3 hours and I have someone else with me, I don't need to talk constantly. It holds up, but like talking 30-40 minutes without any pause or anything, yeah, my voice really doesn't like that. So yeah, I do a time lapse now. Well, here we are, and I'm trying to fit this little triangle in the trailer, and I don't think it'll fit. We're going to lose a little bit onto the ground, but I don't think it's worth it to drive out here again for this last little bit, so we try our best. I also got almost stuck right now. I need to be a little bit more careful when turning around, carry a lot more speed, and just make a little bit of a wider turn, because obviously with the 3 back axles doing tight turns kinda not the best. Also obviously you can see it's a bit muddy and a bit yeah, you can see it's really trying really hard to gain traction. That what happens if you take trucks on a field, apparently. I don't know, I mean it's a really funny thing, because yeah, it just feels odd. But watching US farm vloggers stuff, obviously, it's what happens. You guys take the trucks onto the field. It really feels so odd. It feels so odd for me. Not used to that at all. And yeah, but anyways, I think it's going to kind of fit. Last little rest of the field, and if we don't get stuck, I think we are, yeah, it'll work. I think we're almost done. Yeah. This one, and the last little corner, and I think, oh boy, yeah, I ruined it. Usually I would go back, but I don't think I can. I think I need to kind of turn around in a big loop, because yeah, it's really, I can't slow down. I'll get stuck. Especially turning uphill, like obviously could have turned downhill. Yeah, just let's make a mess of the last little bit here on camera for the last moment of the entire maize silage. Let's just really ruin it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is it. We were done. We have the maize silage done. I don't know, it's maize silage or is it corn silage? I mean, I usually, I think, at least in the UK, I think it's maize when it's for like feeding, and corn when it's like for the actual corn. But I don't know if that's the same distinction in the US. I need to pay a little bit more close attention if I watch TheFatRat next time, what he calls it. I don't know, he doesn't really drive silage truck this year apparently. Or maybe he does, I'm not really up to date with the videos. So what's wrong here? Oh, I think we are so full that, well, let's just say we're going to let little rest that's standing there. We're just going to harvest that on the ground to make sure that we get home. So yeah, back in the truck here, and yeah. One thing I really noticed doing this is about, and I'm kind of like a bit back into the 4-ball break here again. I'm always trying to go a little bit about external stories and about like the actual story of this game and the series and the save game. But sometimes I'm also I need to talk about the farm sim. And yeah, I've noticed that this map is just, I mean, it's kind of obvious if you think about it. Just downshift here. Downshift another gear. Yeah, that's a lot better. Kind of obvious if you think about it, how much he is crammed into like a 2x2 kilometer area on this map. But yeah, it's a lot of road network. It's tons of road network here. And yeah, I noticed now when driving with this big truck, and it's not that big. I mean, it's a normal size European trailer we have in the back here. It's not even that long. The low boy is way longer. It's really difficult to actually drive on those roads here. I mean, that road here, it's fine, but as soon as I turn left here, it's just it's scaled down a little too much. Like it's a little too curvy, or the curves are a little too close together and a little harsh, and yeah, it's just really difficult to actually drive this properly here, or generally drive anything bigger properly here without it feeling really odd. Like when I go down here now and I turn in here, and you can see it makes a turn and it makes another turn. That's just really close together. Like this turn right here where I turn to the left, it's just really close to the turn where I turn to the right, and this isn't really the bad spot. Bad spot is up here on the farm, where I tried to drive earlier, but I don't drive now anymore. Like basically the continuation of this road. There's like a lot of tight turns, and they are so close together and so tight. I don't think that's... it doesn't feel very realistic. I don't know. Maybe there are roads like that in the US. Probably not roads with like a yellow line in the middle. Probably like more kind of single track roads, so to speak. But yeah, it's really noticeable once you use a big truck on. I mean, it's not a big truck; it's a small truck and a small trailer. But once you drive with equipment like that, when I drove with the small Kubota side by side for the map, first look of the map, it felt big, and I thought, oh well, Giants did a great job making a small map feel big. But once you start driving with a truck on here, it doesn't anymore. Like this, that's just I think my biggest issue with the map is that right now. I mean, yes, it's not realistic. I've talked about this before. Like the general landscape is just not the realistic feeling, in my opinion, from like really far away and looking at Google Maps to the area it's supposed to be. Yeah, the fields and everything is just kind of a bit off, but it's a beautiful map. Like I think it's really, in terms of like the models, the textures, yeah, Giants did really well there. But yeah, it's those roads. It's the biggest thing, biggest downfall for me right now. It's like roads like these here, like through here. I mean, it's really really difficult to actually drive down here. It doesn't look that harsh or that steep or that weird on camera, but if you actually drive on it, it's really difficult to maneuver, and that's just, it doesn't look like that. It looks pretty small here on the map, but in reality, like it's a tiny map. It's only 2 by 2 kilometers, so yeah, that's kind of my biggest issue. Like driving down these roads, or even this main road down here, that's a lot of fun. But and there's roads like that where basically, yeah, it's just, I mean, yeah, roads can be curvy like that, but not in such a short distance. The same amount, of course, in such a short distance. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the thing. Yeah, I know Tail of the Dragon, for example. There are most definitely roads in the US that have very many turns on very short amount of like drive, but it's just not everywhere, and it feels really cramped. Like driving down here is basically with a big truck is really, oh boy, I missed the shift there. So yeah, it's just I mean, in cab it doesn't feel as bad, but once you go outside you notice that it's just like a really really tight turn down here. Like going down here, you can see it's really it just feels very close together. Everything feels very close together. You can't really drive very far. I mean, this is basically like a road like we would have in the Alps, basically. And yeah, probably many roads like that in the US. The US is big, but yeah, I'm not sure if that would be a main road with like 2 lanes and markings in the middle. But long story short is, yeah, starting to drive a truck down here, it just starts to feel small. The map really starts to feel small, and that's kind of the biggest downfall for this map for me personally right now, because yeah, it's not supposed to feel small. Even like a state like New York State, where things are a lot more organic and not like everything is a straight line, and fields are smaller and everything's a bit closer together and stuff, it still doesn't feel small, or shouldn't feel small. I think compared to, like, it shouldn't feel like you're in the Austrian or Italian Alps or something like that. So yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest downside with the map. You barely have enough time to like shift through the gears before the next intersection comes, and it's just I'm complaining a lot here, and it's really not entirely fair to Giants, because they tried their best to kind of make a beautiful map with the area given, but I think it's just really hard to make a US map on a 2x or like 1x 2 by 2 kilometer sized map. It's even difficult to make that for like a German map. I mean, if you go to Google Maps and look at a 2 by 2 kilometer area, there's usually not much in it. There's usually a couple of roads, maybe a village, and that was it. So if you want to make a map with like more than one village and many roads and stuff, it's always difficult, but I think it's especially difficult in the US. And again, I think Giant didn't do a terrible job, but it's just, given the constraints and situations, it's just really not the greatest. And yeah, I mean, this here is fine. Out here, driving is fun. It feels wider, and I feel like I made a little bit of a mistake placing my farm where I did it, because down there with the town and everything, it just feels a little bit more cramped and tight, and I probably should have placed it somewhere over here on the map, where everything just feels a little bit more wide and a little bit more well, just better, more realistic, more it fits a lot better. And yeah, I mean, there would have been many or plenty of places where I could have put the farm, but I somehow got it into my head that where I put it was a beautiful spot, because I wanted like the terracing and like the farmhouse on top, and the barn below and stuff like that. And I think it's not a bad idea. I like my farm where it is, but I think there are better spots on the map to place a farm, basically. So let's just turn into here and deliver our trailer that we borrowed. Very nice. So now we're going to bobtail it back to the farm. And yeah, again, I mean, it's a lot of complaining. I really don't want to do that all the time, but it's just a kind of a observation I made during this maize harvest that really so I kind of need to, yeah, we need to go down there. Kind of an observation I made during this maize harvest that did I go in the right direction? Yeah, I did. That it's kind of, and that's really, really odd. That didn't happen before. I don't know what's wrong. I keep getting caught on bridges. I don't know why. Anyways, very long story short, we done our maize harvest, and time to drive back home and look for something else to do. Kind of like, yeah, we have a lot of work to do now. We have a lot of I think the harvest is done. I don't know. Oh no, do we have? I don't think we have corn. We don't. Yeah, we don't. I don't think we have corn. So yeah, that's another point. I know. I'm not sure if I talked about it, but I know that a lot of corn is. I think I've talked about it. Yeah, I totally talked about it. That there's a lot of this weird just movements of the cab are horrible on this truck. Never really noticed because never really drove it in the indoor cam. I mean, we're kind of like not really going over big bumps, but it feels like everything's shaking. What's going on? We didn't even have a patch yet, but for some reason it feels really bad. I don't know. Yeah, anyways, that's another thing. On the map is a road, but in reality, as you can see, I am riding on that road right now. There isn't. So yeah, it's not just the Long map, several maps, or all the base game maps, the PDA doesn't line up, or the mini-map doesn't line up with the actual map. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, it's confusing sometimes when you go somewhere, think, oh yeah, there's a road, I'm going to drive down there, and oops, there isn't. But yeah, I guess maybe last minute changes, or I don't know. But anyways, I'm pretty sure the school bus is going to cut me off. Yeah, it is. Obviously it is. So. Yeah. I'm not really sure what else to talk about. I don't think I have got any new topics or anything. Yeah, again, I didn't really want to complain too much about that map, but yeah, I just it's kind of something I noticed, a little bit of a feeling I got now when I drove around a lot. And yeah, we'll see. maybe I need to kind of look for another farm to, like, not move my farm to, but for another couple of fields to rent further away, because I kind of made the stupid decision of like putting all the fields basically around here, because I thought, yeah, well, that's basically how a farm works in the US. Like, you have a home farm, which is like basically one parcel of land, so to speak. Yeah, so I kind of wanted to do that, but obviously that means that for most of our fields we kind of need to go through that hill and alpine road, which I just don't, that just doesn't feel too right. Yeah, anyways, yeah, how much do we have in here now? 883,000 liters. Yeah, we got silage, all of it, much tons, which is a good thing. So yeah, I kind of need to clean up the clamp down there off camera. I'm not sure if we're going to remove it or what we do with that. And but I think the future most definitely is in doing the silage in those things and not in the clamp, because, well, single player. So yeah, back to the topic at hand. This video, I think, is over. Hope you enjoyed it. I really didn't want to drag on the maize silage for 2 videos. It would have almost been dragged on for 3 videos if it didn't do a pretty long time lapse. It was, in the end, a lot of maize and a lot of traveling, a lot of driving. Obviously, you would do that with like 3 or 4 trucks and a multiplier, and then you could do a few more fields, and it's just not really, it doesn't really fit. But we do have a big issue, a really big issue, because next thing we need to do is this right here. We need to get the mower out, and we need to make silage, and that's a big issue. How do I make grass silage? I have no idea how to do that realistically in single player. If I can get crossplay to work to, I don't know, because I think forage wagons like we use in Europe, basically those things right here, where they collect the grass and drive behind the tractor. Not really seen much of those in the US. I don't know if they exist. Probably somewhere, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, from what I can see, wagons with their own pickup, not really that much of a thing. Not really that much of a thing. So usually when I see grass silage done, they basically have a forage harvester there with a grass pickup, and yeah. And yeah, so I don't really know. I really don't know if it's realistic to do with a forage wagon and a tractor. Like, does it happen? It's one of those things where, from the experience I have with watching videos, which is like nothing compared to like anybody who has ever been there, I can't really tell. I can't tell I ever saw forage wagon, like a loading forage wagon in the US in a video ever. But it obviously doesn't mean they don't exist. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe. But I think, I guess our best bet would be to hire a forage harvester again and use the pickup on a forage harvester to pick up the swath of grass and get crossplay to work with that somehow. But I really need to, basically, I would need to drive a course with the windrower and use that for the harvester then, or I don't really know. I mean, I could obviously use the mower course, but not in this case. Like, what you can do is, if you have like the big M, for example, I don't know, is there even a big M in FS25? I mean, there probably is. Where are the mowers? Am I being, I'm probably being stupid. Probably, yeah, right there, big M. If you get a big M and you mow with those things active, so they also throw the grass in the middle. So you could basically create a course and then save that course and use the same course for loading with the forage harvester. But obviously that only works with this thing, because the swath is in the middle. If you look at this guy over here, the swath is not in the middle. It doesn't have a swathing feature. Basically, it's a very wide mower, and it just lays it down flat, really wide. So the next best thing would obviously be to get a windrower here, and like this one, which obviously also lays down the swath in the middle. But the one I got is I think this one or this one, one of those. And obviously that does not work like that. So yeah, I don't really know. I do have the Kuhn one. I don't think it can lay down in the middle. So if it lays to the side, there's always some offset, and yeah, I don't really know. We'll figure it out in the next episode, unless you guys have an idea for me. But very long story short, yeah, that's what we need to do in the next episode. And by the way, when you talk about that here, Samas, right here, Samas. I watched a video of TheFatRat recently, and oh boy, was I surprised when he walked over a yard of a equipment dealer, and there were some Samas machines, like tons new Samas machines, tedders, windrows, mowers. I didn't know they sold into the US, but apparently they do. So, well, at least in New York State, there is at least one dealer that sells Samas. So it would be perfectly fine and realistic to buy those things for here, but I obviously wanted to use equipment that I don't use on other maps. Like, that is kind of like stuff that's really only viable on a map like this or on a US map. Especially though with Mirmo, I don't think that's anywhere in the world other than the US. Maybe like Brazil, I have no idea where else they sell, but this thing does not exist in Europe, I'm pretty sure. So even though it does have proper lights and turn lights, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that the thing, I don't know, at least it doesn't exist in Germany. Maybe it exists in other European countries. Anyways, that's why I went with those things. Also, I didn't know Samas was in the US, but yeah, I could change, but I don't want to. So yeah, we are just going to try our best with the stuff we have. Anyways, I really think I should stop talking. I thank you very much for watching. I hope the video was some sort of fun and enjoyable thing to watch, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time, goodbye.